sir. Thank you for joining our program today.
Thank you, Enoch. My pleasure.
Yeah, I know you are an estate planning expert. Can you tell us whether it's only something belong to rich people?
Yes, traditionally it's absolutely the rich people who must have estate planning because they're leaving behind so much assets, and they don't want the assets to go to different parties uncontrolled. So they would usually be making very specific instructions as to how their assets should be distributed.
Mm-hmm. So when people are doing this kind of estate planning, what are their major concerns?
It's usually started with the motivation of taking care of their immediate family members, like their children and their grandparents and parents. And the second concern they have is, do I have enough assets? Do I have enough financial provisions to take care of these people? And finally, they need an execution as to how these assets should be distributed to these parties. They're usually children, parents, grandparents, and sometimes their pets.
Mm-hmm. Well, sometimes pets as well.
Yes, home pets,
that would be interesting.
Yes.
Well, but I want to focus on the children first because
Okay.
I think that will be many people's concern.
Absolutely.
And when people have young children, but they don't want to, they success the money and then spend them overnight, what can they do?
Yeah, people are having less children these days, so they're more concerned about the assets being spent once the child is 18 years old. So they would have stipulations and conditions as to how these children would be able to get the capital or the income of within the trust itself. So, for example, if the settlor or the person who's setting up the trust doesn't think the child is a hardworking kid, he or she can be very clear about how they should get the first batch of money. For example, graduating college, then the kid would be getting 5% of the trust assets. Getting married would be another 5%, or having the first child is another 5%. It goes on and on and on until the assets gets exhausted in the trust.
Thank you very much for joining our program today.
My pleasure, Enoch.